Summary of poem A Wife in London by Thomas Hardy. A Wife in London by Thomas Hardy is a moving poem that shows the sadness and irony of losing a loved one during the Boer War. The poem is divided into two parts, the tragedy and the irony, each highlighting different aspects of the wife's sorrow. In the first part, the tragedy, Hardy describes a foggy London evening. The fog is thick and yellow-brown, creating a gloomy and sad feeling. The street lamp shines weakly through the fog, making the wife seem even more alone and distant from the world. The second stanza tells about the sudden arrival of bad news. A messenger brings a telegram that says her husband has died in a faraway place. The message is very short: he has fallen in the far south land, and it leaves the wife shocked and unable to fully understand the loss. In the third part, the irony, the fog gets even thicker, symbolizing the wife's deepening grief. The next day, the postman delivers a letter from her husband, written before he died. At first, the wife feels a glimmer of hope when she sees his handwriting, but then she realizes the painful irony: the letter has arrived too late. Instead of bringing joy, the letter now only adds to her sorrow. The final stanza reveals what is in the letter. The husband wrote with happiness and hope, talking about his return and the fun things they would do together in the summer. He even wrote about the new love they would discover. This contrast between his hopeful words and the reality of his death makes the situation even more tragic. Hardy's poem shows the deep emotional pain caused by war, the unpredictability of life, and the sad ironies that often come with loss. The detailed descriptions and emotional story in A Wife in London make it a powerful reflection on the personal costs of war. Line-by-line explanation of the poem A Wife in London. Stanza 1, The Tragedy. The poem opens with an eerie and somber atmosphere. The tawny vapor refers to the fog that envelopes London, particularly near the Thames River. This fog creates a gloomy, almost ghostly setting. The webby fold-on-fold of the fog suggests layers of obscurity and sadness. The street lamp's faint, cold glimmer amidst the fog adds to the sense of isolation and melancholy. Stanza 2, The Tragedy. A sudden, sharp knock at the door announces the arrival of a telegram. The wife receives the news in the form of a brief but shocking message, stating that her husband has died, fallen, in a distant land, the far south land, likely during a war. The abruptness of the message and its tragic content leave her dazed and overwhelmed, struggling to comprehend the full impact of the loss. Stanza 3, The Irony. The following day, the fog is even denser, intensifying the oppressive mood. The postman delivers a letter written by her husband before his death. The letter arrives too late, revealing his words and thoughts, but now he is dead, whom the worm now knows. The irony is bitter. The wife's joy upon reading the affectionate letter contrasts sharply with the knowledge that her husband is already gone. Stanza 4, The Irony. The letter contains fresh, optimistic words, written in high spirits, in highest feather. The husband wrote about his hopes for returning home and the plans they had for joyous outings together, by break and burn, during the summer. He also mentioned the new aspects of their love they would explore. This final stanza emphasizes the cruel twist of fate. The husband's hopeful future plans and expressions of love arrive just after his death, deepening the wife's grief and sense of loss.
About the poet. Thomas Hardy was born on June 2, 1840, in the village of Higher Bockhampton near Dorchester, in Dorset, England. He grew up in a rural environment that deeply influenced his literary works. Initially trained as an architect, Hardy later turned to writing and became one of the most significant Victorian novelists and poets. His novels, including Tess of the d'Urberville and Jude the Obscure, challenged societal norms with their realistic portrayal of rural life and complex characters. As a poet, Hardy's verses often explore themes of fate, loss, and the passage of time, reflecting a pessimistic yet profound view of human existence. His writing style combines lyrical language with deep introspection, showcasing his keen observation of human emotions and relationships. Hardy's literary legacy continues to resonate for its nuanced depiction of the human condition and its influence on English literature.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.